is going to be a difficult one going to Rutgers. I know you look at the record, but look at the scores instead of the record, and you'll see. Watching this team, they are going to be the best rebounding team that we've played all year. We are obviously not a great rebounding team, and that's a tough matchup for us. They've had a lot of experience now in that backcourt with Williams and Sanders, two really talented players. The addition of is it Johnson? I'm trying to think of who the guy that just is, Nigel Johnson. You know, the kid as a freshman or sophomore scored 20 against Kansas when he was at Kansas State, Nigel Johnson. So they have some talent right now, and you can see it. Whether it was Northwestern taking them down to the wire, go play Wisconsin in overtime, first place last time, overtime, says a lot about the league, that they have had some really good games thus far. Lose to Penn State at home and then whack them in Penn State at State College, where few people have won. So it is going to be a great win if we can get it. And I know that sounds like coach speak. I'm telling you, it's going to be a great win if we can get it. We're going to have to play better than we did against Minnesota. So it is we have another game again Saturday, so this is like a tough span. There's only in the league. There's only 4 teams that have had this 4 games in 10-day span that we're in right now, and we're going to have to really fight through this. And our kids, we really got fresh yesterday. Didn't do anything except watch video and stretch with our main guys. So hopefully they're going to be fresh for this 6:30 game tomorrow.
Coach, I'm assuming you had some time to watch the tape from Minnesota. What stood out to you?
There's so many things right now. First of all, the Minnesota, let's give them a lot of credit right now because they're well coached. They really have a good plan. Those 2 big guys, we shut down their outside game, and you shut down something, you give up something else. And that we just, by shutting down so much of their outside game, which was such a big part of their offense, we really let them have just command the offensive board. So a couple of things that were rather done differently now than we did in that game. But whether it was the bounce of the ball, the blow of the whistle, it wasn't a game where things fell our way, and that's part of basketball.
Jake?
John, after watching the film from Minnesota, do you think that the officiating was consistent throughout that game?
It's part of basketball. They have a really tough job to do. So it's just part of basketball. The break's going to go your way sometimes, and they have a tough job to do.
How do you make sure, like you cited Rutgers' record, they pushed Wisconsin and Northwestern to the limit. How do you make sure this team doesn't overlook?
Oh, we're not overlooking anybody. Look, we're 7-7. We're not overlooking anybody, and I don't think that's ever been a mindset with this team. So this is not about the record. This is about getting another road win, and getting ourselves into the mix of the Big Ten tournament, so that we're finished at the top of the Big Ten. I mean, that's huge to do that. When I got to this level, it wasn't about you're always striving to win a championship, but when you're playing this level, you get to the top of your league, you're really good, and we want to be towards the top of this league, and we have a chance to get 4 more wins in this league. That would be a hell of a year.
Hey, Coach, I know you don't like to talk about officiating, but where do you find the balance between, I guess, sending a message to your players that doesn't allow them to make excuses, but also, pointing out that maybe they didn't do something wrong if there was, I guess.
Yeah, I think what I say to my players and what I say to the director of officials, Rick Boyage, is completely different to each other. I really fight for us there, but I don't want that to be any type of crutch for our guys. You got to play through all that stuff, and that's it. And you have to understand that it's a difficult game to officiate, and they're going to make these quick calls, and they're going to be wrong. Some nights they're going to have bad nights too, and I'm not saying they had bad nights. I'm just saying they're going to have bad nights too, and you can't let that bother you as far as affecting the game.
And do you send calls to the Big Ten
Oh
office
yeah,
after every game?
we had a bunch of calls. Is
that typical? I mean,
no. But and like I said, they do a great job. They look over every single thing. Well, I just want the message to go to the officials that when they think we're crazy, they see it on tape, and then I might be wrong too. And then I say, okay, you're right. That was a walk, or that wasn't a walk. I'm right more than they think though. But if I had the pen last, I would prove that.
Did you get an explanation on the technical foul, and was it warranted?
Yeah, it probably was warranted, yeah, you can't react at your bench like that. You can't do that. You couldn't see it on TV, but we had guys up on the floor, you can't do that.
Okay. And then what's the balance with Zach? He's made some big shots for you in the past, but knowing when and when not to
Yeah.
take big shots in big
Yeah,
situations.
I love his courage right now, and that guides him a great deal. He's made a lot of big shots in his life. And it's a fine line between trying to take that away and say, okay, that's really a great opportunity for you to really win one for your teammates, but it's the best opportunity that you have to win that one for your teammates. So it's a good balance there. And I still will stand by him until the end, that the ball's hand, he's got a clean look, he's got as good a chance as anybody at making it. At the same time, there's some parts of his game that are higher percentages than others. And I wanted to focus on those others as well, because the higher percentage ones obviously are better shots.
John?
And just, but right now, just be a warrior and a defender, and don't worry about those things. You can help us win games by being a warrior on defense. That gets your mind off the other thing, right? And then all of a sudden, the shots are easier to make.
You seeing him do that on defense? Being better?
He can do more, and he's working at it.
Okay.
Speaking of getting your mind off things, how much of winning at Rutgers has to involve forgetting the frustrations of what they just went through, and how have they been at that?
I mean, I think we've been pretty good at bouncing back, actually. You know, I mean, we win 3 in a row and everything's good. You're only as good as your last game, and you lose a game, it's like the end of the world. I mean, it's very difficult on these guys and on the coaching staff when it's that close. So, no, I think once that ball goes up, our practice today, and once that ball goes up, nobody will be thinking about that game. We'll be thinking about how do we somehow get out of here with a W. And Rutgers is just as hungry as us. Those kids are right there. They went to Northwestern, and they were right there. And all of a sudden, they're thinking the exact same thing. Now, how do we somehow, get out of here with a W?
Back over here with Sean.
John, you can't say this maybe, but I can. There were obviously a couple of calls that went against your guys. You said your team has to play through that. It seemed to me they did to some degree. It showed a fair amount of mental toughness. What do you take away from that?
Yeah, I think that especially when we get those steals down the stretch and our kids, we did not give in one bit. And I really think Derek's baskets going in at the end, it looked like somebody, going into a second overtime would have been something. No, it's a great step in the right direction. It wasn't quite enough, but I just think earlier in that game, we were not as sharp as we'd like to be, and you don't know what play caused that, but we just weren't as sharp. And I didn't think it was lack of effort. We just weren't as sharp defensively, offensively, and we'll get better from it. They'll learn hard lessons through that. You don't want to put yourself in that situation. But again, Minnesota's got a really good team. Just let's not. This shouldn't be about the officials. Shouldn't be about us. Should be about Minnesota is really good. We lost to a really good team.
John, what jumps out to you about the stuff that Steve's running at Rutgers right now?
You know what? It's very typical right now of a team that he has where he's got big guys and he's got scorers on the perimeter. There's an awful lot of screening action that is to get his guards open and get his big men to the backboard with some space. So it's really difficult. If you're hedging a ball screen, the ball screen offense, and you hedge a ball screen and Corey Sanders rises up and shooting, who is there? It's going to be Mo. Well, where's Mo's man? Mo's man is at the basket. Well, somebody's got to block him out. Well, if somebody else blocks him out, then who's blocking that guy's man out? And so they get numbers out of ball screen shots. And when you have a team right now that haven't been a great shooting team thus far, they can shoot it. When they've shot it well, when Sanders shoots it well, you get 25, they win in the Big Ten. So you can't let them shoot at the same time. It's a plan that is very effective to shoot, get a good shot, and send 4 guys to the backboard. I mean, they got guys. Sanders is getting almost 3 rebounds, offensive rebounds a game. He's the 2 guard. So there's an advantage there. The ball sometimes comes down to where did it bounce? Did it go to that side? Did it go to that side? And everybody's got good position, but it could have gone to that area. It goes into that thing like it's a roulette wheel, and it could come out anywhere, and you could do everything right.
And I guess that idea of, obviously you guys are playing for the postseason, that's what we got, but it can sometimes be difficult when you're going against a team that's playing with that kind of desperate energy of, one win late in the year for
Yeah.
a team with 2 wins
Yeah.
can kind of make their season, kind of matching that. Is that something you bring up?
Yeah, you know, we've been in that situation, right? We were in that 2 years ago. We were in that certainly my first year, wherever we've been, of just trying to just get a W somewhere. And I'm sure that at their place, they've been on the road, I think, the last 2 games. At their place right now, in a storied environment there at Rutgers. They've had some great teams, you know, back in the day, and they're trying to grow that. And I think with a new coach, it's all fresh, a lot of enthusiasm. Every day there's a small victory in that program right now. And a huge victory would be beating Michigan tomorrow.
Over here with Kevin.
Coach, you mentioned before about the team didn't give up down stretch, kind of kept fighting.
Yeah.
Is that kind of the next evolution of them picking up that
Yeah,
edge that you talked
there's
about?
always been progress. There's always been progress, but they're baby steps in the progress. You know, if you looked at DJ from now until the end, you'd see this huge step. But there's been the baby steps to get him to that direction. But we did not give up, but we had to continue to find other ways right now to score points, to defend, to get things done. So, but I did like that nobody hung their heads, despite, you know, the fact that, you know, they got a lot of foul shots. We missed foul shots. It was very disappointing to us with some of the events in the game, but they kept fighting, so it wasn't, I would have rather lost the game that way, I guess, than lost the game where we're ahead and we missed a bunch of one-on-ones down the stretch and they beat us. That is more devastating. I think our kids showed great spirit in that game.
Go back to Sean.
John, Wagner is playing with a lot of swagger and sort of on charisma right now. He feels like he's a step or two away from taking over. Is there kind of an emphasis at this point to see what it would look like to get?
Yeah, we're trying, you know,
to get him?
it's a matchup thing with him. Like you can see the other day, they switched every screen because of his ability to pick and pop. And they hadn't done that one game the entire year that we had. So there's, every time's a new, now you gotta learn, all right, now I better get my butt inside and post somebody up later in the game instead of picking and popping and just bury the guy. So this involvement of his, there's a lot to it as he, remember, he's a forward coming in, and now he's 6'11", and we put him in a position so where he's got 5.8 rebounds a game the last 5 games, with leading us in offensive rebounds during that time, with I think 13 during that time. That's 2 a game. That's really good for him. So from a guy that I swear his first month on campus didn't get a rebound in practice one time. It was not even in his thing. So this involvement I think is fun to watch, but it's still baby steps there because he's got so much energy, so much desire. Sometimes it gets in the way.
James?
Mohammed's leading, in Big Ten play, Mohammed's leading in three-point field goal
Yep.
percentage. Is that maybe just his better shot selection, or is he maybe, when he's driving really, that's helping him get a little bit?
No, I think that he's really feels good about his shot right now. And that's the thing that we've considering right now is we gotta get him better opportunities to shoot the ball. He is a good screener, and that has really helped us get him open at times to screen and then come off a screen. But he's a guy that he needs a little bit of time to get that shot off, and that gets in the way, so we gotta continue to work on how we can get him to shoot quicker, get him more open. But those numbers are really good to have another guy like that.
In the middle of Kyle.
With DJ and Mo, has it gone from, you possibly being a little bit surprised when they come up big in some of these spots in some of these big games to, now you expect it? And I guess, is that more of a normal transition where, with Trey Burke, the Maui Invitational, it was like immediate where you
Yeah,
probably expected that? Has it been kind of a normal
I didn't
process?
expect
with
that from Trey Burke to Maui. I was down there waiting, saying, I don't know if he's good. When we went out to Maui, the truth is on the plane says, man, I don't think he's gonna have trouble as a freshman. And by the way back, I said, I don't think we can keep him for 4 years. That's what happened in Maui. So, I think there's gonna be some great moments here for DJ and Mo. I'm glad they're just sophomores. I'm glad they have a great career ahead of them here. But I think we're still, they're still finding out who they are. But DJ, again, he had a couple of really good, strong plays the other day, and then he had a couple that he deferred physically. So when he was 100% deferred physically last year at this time. So it's the right steps in the right direction. And same thing with Mo. You see Mo sometimes gets in trouble, he'll counter, go behind the back between his legs or something on a drive, when he doesn't have to, he's already got the guy beat. But why? Because the guy's about to bump him. And to embrace that with both of them is the biggest factor right now, and they're developed to understand, once I get leverage, don't give it up, just because there's a bump.
Anything else?
Thanks.